Welcome back, and if you're new to my channel, I collect video games and tell you about the games I believe you should be getting. If that sounds fun to you, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you never miss a beat, and on to the video.
People tell me my head's in the clouds. I don't care what they say because I'm dreaming of you. You are the treasure I found. So bright, so bold, yet so elusive. It's hard to look away, even though it's blinding me. There are no words to describe how I feel inside.
I would like to personally say Happy Thanksgiving, and hopefully you guys are all with your families, having fun, eating some turkey, all that fun junk. But today, I would like to talk to you guys about my thoughts on Pokemon Shield for the Nintendo Switch. Now, I have been playing this game non-stop since the day after it launched. Like, it's the only game I've been playing. Like, it's ridiculous. I put most of my other games on hold because this game, a lot of people gripe it for different things, like the national dex not being there and the graphical aspect not being up to par. But I have to tell you, between all of it, I believe for what they were going for, you should pick it up. Because, what can I say about this game that, it's, in my opinion, is phenomenal. Between the wild area, just the fun little extras they give you with like the map in there, the getting onto the wild area, is actually my favorite part of the whole game. Like, the beginning is a little bit slow, but most of the Pokemon games are pretty slow at the beginning, but I mean this one kind of drags on just a little bit too much. And the opening, I would have to say the only gripe, this has to be like one of my few gripes of the game, is that the opening, I really wish they would have put voice into the chairman, because it would have made it that much more grander. But they didn't, because it is a Pokemon game and none of them have been voiced. So I understand it to a point. But onto the wild area, since it's where I've spent the bulk of my time, apart from doing the badges. But I'll get to that here in a second. In the wild area, depending on your day, and I've seen some videos where you can change your internal clock on your Switch to make it different types of weather, depending on which one you want. But I just play day to day. I mean, I did a little bit of the whole switching, but I couldn't get the Pokemon I wanted. But that's besides the point. You can do it if you really want to. I'm still working towards the Gigamax Pokemon, which is the new versions of certain Pokemon that you can Dynamax, that you get from raids, which you find these little, which you'll see in the gameplay that I put down at the bottom. Either it'll be on this side or this side, whichever side I decide to choose. But you will see that there are raids that you can do. Basically, you choose a Pokemon, you're able to Dynamax it right off the bat, which basically means to make it big. And then, of course, certain Pokemon get a Gigamax form. Well, they're called Gigamax Pokemon because they get a unique form when they Dynamax. And when they do that, they also get a couple special moves depending on what moves it knows. Like, there's a Dynamax Butterfree, there's a Lapras, there's a Gengar I'm still trying to go for. Haven't got the Lapras yet. I've only managed to get Corviknight, Butterfree, got a couple Scentiscorches. Of course, I got the Meowth one that was a mystery gift exclusive. And then I also got the I got the Eevee one because I played a little bit of Let's Go Eevee at my brother's house. So I had a save file and I was able to get that at the train station. You can also get a Pikachu that way too, if you have Let's Go Pikachu, which is pretty dope. Yeah, it's awesome. But along with this, you're also able to, while you're going through your gym battles, each gym battle lets you catch Pokemon at a certain level. And there are Pokemon that you will find in the wild area that will basically wreck your stuff like ridiculous. Like if you start out the game and you want to go and fight like the Steelix, it's level 50, and if you have like a level 5 Pokemon, that Steelix is gonna basically kill you. Like, I love that aspect. And then you're actually able to kill them excuse me, if you grind enough, but you're not able to catch it until you get enough badges to actually catch them. I have put 46 hours into it so far, but and about halfway through the Pokedex. Apart from some of the version exclusives, I'm still working on it because, of course, I only have Shield. Both my brothers have Swords, so I'm still kind of working on getting some of the Sword exclusives. I've been playing it to death because I haven't actually finished the game. I'm at the league at this point, which means I have 8 badges. I finished all 8 badges, which I just finished the other night. So I can catch any Pokemon that I want, because once you get the 8th badge, you're able to catch Pokemon of any level. But at the moment, I've been running around the wild area because that's like your main focus. And apart from the wild area, all of the towns, I think they look stunning. I mean, granted, there was another thing that was kind of a little bit of a gripe, is that there is a item that you actually could miss that was something to do with the settings, which happened to be with the sound, which was kind of weird because you get these earbuds that you're able to change the volume of like your music down so that when you're in the wild area you can actually just hear nothing but the Pokemon cry, which is, I mean, it's pretty cool, but I mean, I don't know why they didn't just put it in the settings that you actually had to talk to an NPC to basically be able to change the volume of different sounds. But I mean, that's a little gripe. That it really isn't like too big of a deal in my opinion anyways. But something that you won't see in the gameplay, which just because I did not have time between getting ready for Thanksgiving and all that, is the gym battles. When all the gym battles except for one gym, you're able to Dynamax your Pokemon, and of course they'll go through all of the Dynamax Pokemon that you can get so far that I'm aware of. I don't know if Game Freak is going to be adding any more, but from the ones that you can get, you see one in every gym. But when you go to the gyms, I mean, if you've watched any other reviews, you'll see that you go into a big old stadium, and there's a crowd of people, which is amazing. I don't know why they didn't do this sooner, but I thought it was amazing. And just knowing that there's a crowd of people, and that the music that they put with it is just amazing. Like, I can't believe it. Like, I was always, as soon as I went to go challenge a gym leader, I was hyped every single time, because that music just got me in the mood to where, like, oh, just gotta beat him. I mean, because this game's phenomenal. You need to pick it up. I mean, if you don't have it, it's worth the $55. Well, I ended up going to Walmart for it, so I only spent $50 on it. But 53, something like that. But besides the point, I only spent about $50 on the game, and I've definitely gotten my money's worth, because I've spent 46 hours and haven't even completed the league yet. I'm still working through getting a bunch of the Gigamax Pokemon, because I don't have the online service, so I can't do all those fun-loving tricks where I can just skip a day, get 2,000 watts, and get the Gigamax Pokemon I want from each den. Talking about watts, that is the currency that you get from visiting dens. Once there's a red or a beam, which you'll see in the gameplay because I do a raid for you guys, but you'll see a beam, and you can either get a red beam or a purple beam. Red beam is just out of a pool of regular Pokemon. If you get a purple beam, it is a pool of rare Pokemon that you're able to fight. And of course, there's always that chance you could get a Gigamax Pokemon from certain dens, which I thought was pretty unique, pretty cool, and whatnot. But the watts that you spend, you can also get Pokeballs. Like there's dust balls you can buy. There are time balls, repeat balls. You can get wishing stone or wishing stars, and the wishing stars basically let you activate any den you want anywhere in the wild area, which I thought was pretty cool. And then of course you can buy the TRs, and the TRs are basically TMs, but they're one-time uses. You can either get them from raids, and another thing you can get from raids are Dynamax candies, which each Pokemon can go up to level 10. And you want to get your Pokemon to level 10 for the simple fact that it doubles their health and their stats and stuff that you get when you Dynamax them, which is really useful. But you can also abuse this system, because if you do a ton of raids, you also get what's called these XP candies. They're kind of like rare candies, but they give you just certain XPs. It goes from extra small to medium and large. And like just for instance, the large gives you like 10,000. So if you end up stacking up like 50 large candies, you can literally give your Pokemon 50,000 XP and level them from like level 1 to like level 70 for an instance. I'm not really sure if that's how far it would honestly level up, but it's kind of like a general. You could basically break the system a little bit if you grind a lot, which I mean I did. I have 2 level 100s because I did nothing but grind. Because, like I said, I've been addicted to this game. It's amazing, in my opinion. But along they also have the breeding that you can do, and you also get this Rotom bike. The Rotom bike. So, in the previous games, you had to use TMs like Surf, Fly, and all that. You don't have to do that in this one. You can fly whenever or wherever once you get far enough. And you get a Rotom bike, which is like the most convenient way to get around the wild area and the regular map and all that. But what is nice about this game is they also have the Pokemon you can just see in the overworld. And I'm sorry that I'm talking about this so late, but you can see the Pokemon in the overworld, but they also have the random encounters, which is kind of nice because there are certain Pokemon that you will find in the exclamation marks that you'll see while I'm running around and whatnot. And I know I picked a chick because they get cooler, in my opinion, cooler customization, which you can customize the hair, your glasses, bags, shirts. You can get dresses, well, at least for the chick, and then shoes, socks, and you can, of course, and they also get hats, but you can change all that with the boys too. But since I personally normally go with the chick in the Pokemon games, that's what I went with, because they get cooler options. But that's my personal opinion, so I mean, take it with a grain of salt. But I know this video is getting a little bit long, but there's just a couple more things I want to talk about before this review is over. But oh, where was that? Right. Like I said, I haven't finished the game, but in the wild area with the Pokemon running around, there are a few. Another aspect I want to talk about is the evolution. There are actually quite a few evolutions that Game Freak does not actually tell you about. Like the Yan Mask, basically with his, you have to have him take 49 hits of damage, and then you have to go to a certain spot in the wild area, which is like a little arch, a stone arch that you have to go to, and it'll evolve. Or like with the Milcery, which kind of looks like a weird little like milk blob. It ends up turning into Swirlix, but you have to go to a cafe, fight the owner that's behind the cashier, or whatever you want to call it. But you fight him, and then you end up getting an item. And basically how you do it, I mean, you can get a rainbow one, but what you have to do is basically just twirl in place, and then after doing that for a few seconds or a minute or so, your Milcery will evolve into a Swirlix. But if you do it at like 7 p.m., you will get a rainbow one. And depending on what suite you have will depend on what little topping you have. Like there's like a heart, and there's also like a strawberry. I believe there's a clover and a couple other ones. But I mean, I thought it was pretty unique how they decided to change up how you evolve certain Pokemon. And of course, there's also the Eevees. Everybody I mean, at least me personally, whenever I play a Pokemon game, I always try to get all the Eevees. In this one, they kind of simplified it. You just have to basically use for, like how you did in the older games with Leafeon and Glaceon, you had to go to a certain spot, level it up while doing the friendship. In this game, all you have to do is give it a Leaf Stone and an Ice Stone. The only special ones are Espeon and Umbreon, which basically means you don't have to have a Fairy type move, and you just have to level it up while it having. The easiest way to do it is have a Soothe Bell, excuse me, while leveling it up, which will help its friendship in either the day or night. And then Sylveon is that you have to have Baby Doll Eyes, which is a fairy move, and level it up with friendship, and you get a Sylveon, which I thought was pretty cool. And then of course, there are version exclusives with the Gigamax. Like in the Shield version, I could get Gengar, and in the Sword version, you can get a Machamp. So, I mean, for all in all, what it's going for, I love the starters. The only one I didn't really care for was Sobble, but I understand why they put it in there, because it was kind of like a 007 type deal at the end, if you actually read the Pokemon card for it. Which, I mean, I didn't like the design, but in the way they decided to do it was pretty cool. And I'm sorry that this review is a little bit long, but God, this game is amazing. And if you don't own it, you should be picking it up. I mean, 100%. Pick it up. Because it's definitely worth your time if you own one of these bad boys. Because it's amazing. And if you're a Pokemon lover, it's even that much more of an incentive to go pick it up. And if you've been playing Pokemon Let's Go Eevee or Let's Go Pikachu, then you get a little extra goodies in the end. So, in the end, I know I'm probably missing something here and there, but I honestly don't care, because these are, like I said, my thoughts and opinions. But Pokemon Shield, or Sword and Shield, I would have to give at least 8.5 out of 10, because I'm loving it. I'm addicted to it. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like this video if you thought it was very informative. And I hope you guys all have a great Thanksgiving.